Hello, sunshine. Welcome to Be Visible with Veronica, the podcast where bold conversations and soul-aligned strategy help you awaken your most powerful self. I'm your host, Veronica Bond. Get ready to stop dimming your light, own your magic, and finally be so visible you can't be ignored. Let's get visible. Hello, sunshine. Welcome back to Season 2 of Be Visible with Veronica. What an incredible start to a second season for the podcast. If you have liked any of these episodes and they've meant something to you, please make sure you subscribe, like, and share. It not only helps our audience expand and more people hear about what these impactful stories are doing, not just for the guests, but also for those that are listening and watching. It affects how we reach so many people. And I just want to thank you. And thank you for allowing me to share that invitation with you. Today's episode is quite timely. It's with one of our members from eWomenNetwork, who I met about 6 months ago or so. She owns a beautiful boutique here in Scottsdale, Arizona, called About Face. But more importantly, her journey of creating this boutique, how she helps women shine in their most splendid self at any age, is really quite remarkable. And we even talk about what it's like to be a solopreneur, feeling so alone in a journey often meant for so many. So let's go ahead and welcome Devy Walker here with About Face. Welcome, Devy.
Oh, hi, Veronica. I'm really happy to be here this morning.
I'm so glad that you could join us here in studio. I'm loving these conversations we've been having, especially lately. And I think it's because the conversation has really evolved from the very first time that I met you. You've evolved from the very first time.
I have evolved. Yes, being an entrepreneur and always thinking you can't go to something because you're open that day, just taking a risk and closing the day that I did the first meeting I came to, it was like, wow, and I realized that it's just as important to build a community as it is to be open every day.
I love that you shared that, because so many people who are watching these episodes of Be Visible with Veronica are commenting and sending me direct messages that they wish they had a community where they lived, and they're inspired to maybe start with themselves, but they don't feel so alone when they listen to all these incredible stories that we've shared now for over a year every week. And I love the intentionality of all of the guests and how they started their business and what brought them to realize they had a knack or an expertise in a certain area. And I love that about you. I mean, check your style out here, friends. She's looking pretty great. If you're listening and not watching. But I even love that you said sometimes you just need that signature piece that you can whip out when you need to. And that's this beautiful jacket you're wearing and the what did you call it? The upstyling of the lovely necklace you have on.
I design my own jewelry, so I do a lot of vintage. So this has like the elephants and a lot of fun things. And then I also work a lot with natural stones, tiger's eye, lapis, that sort of thing.
So what made you start About Face Boutique? Tell us about the journey that got you there.
Well, when I was a kid, I had 3 older brothers. And all I wanted for Christmas at 5 years old was clothes. And so I wanted to do a fashion show, and they'd be like, Mom, do we have to watch? And she'd say yes. And I'd do my little fashion show. And my mom and my mom sewed, and my mom and my aunt went out dancing to Coral Gables every Saturday night with my dad and my uncle. And my mom would have like these falls on and these gorgeous taffeta skirts and these beautiful blouses. And I was just like, oh my God, it was so elegant. So I knew then I just had to be elegant.
I love that. So fast forward from 5 to when you opened or knew that you wanted to help women step out into their best self, no matter where they were going or what they were doing.
Well, I've never been a person that knows what the box is. So when I started my company, what I could afford was a small studio above the Miracle Mile Deli in downtown Phoenix.
Okay.
So you literally have to go upstairs. And I have my makeup and my skincare. And then I had a lot of clothes that were on consignment from other stores in the valley.
Okay.
And my first client that came in and she bought quite a bit, she's still my client today, 35 years later.
Wow. love this. So you knew you had a knack. So when you decided to open the brick and mortar where you are now, did you have another place before that, or?
I've had several types of things on my journey. I did at one time in the early 2000s. I had 4 makeup stores and a boutique, and then I went to 2 makeup stores and a boutique at 70th Street and Shea, and then I had a really big boutique on 71st Way, and then 2008 came. So all these women that would come in and just drop $2,000 and not even try anything on, like they would then come in and go, well, how much is a lipstick? So at that point, I had to go back to my roots and start doing makeup in a salon again, reinvent myself. And then I opened About Face Boutique where I am now because it's an office rent, not a retail rent. So I don't have to pay common area maintenance.
Wow.
I don't have to be open every day. I have some freedom to live my life.
Oh, what a beautiful thing to be able to say as an entrepreneur, because that was one of the conversations we talked about early on before we came into studio today. It was about this entrepreneurship, having freedom, that solo space, feeling like you're on an island. Let's talk about that. What made you... you have something you're sharing at an event, a networking group here next week, and it's part of your story, and it really impacted you, and you decided to want to share from your heart in that space to inspire others. So those who are watching us today, share a little bit about your realization of, wow, we're not really on an island, but solopreneurship can kind of suck sometimes.
Yeah, my between my left and my right ear is a really bad neighborhood. Really bad.
Hold on a minute.
So,
wait. You need to say that again. Because
between my left and my right ear is a really bad neighborhood.
Okay, can you guys envision what that is actually saying? Do you get that? Like, think about that for a minute. Between your left and your right ear is a really bad neighborhood. Okay.
Yeah.
I think we've got it. Now
okay,
expand.
Good. So, it's like when you work for yourself at some point, and I don't know if this happens to everybody, but your identity gets entwined with your business identity. So if you have a great day, you feel good. You go home, you're energetic. If you have a bad day, then the committee starts. Wow, you're a loser. You're not doing this right. You don't have anybody to help you. Why did you think you could keep doing this? La, 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 la. And so, after a certain amount of time, you start to get enrolled. And then you have a bad month. And then you're like totally freaked out and you're in panic mode. So you make decisions based on fear. So now all your decisions are being based on fear and lack of. And so... it's like when we get like that, we start to do a little less for our business. Like, do I really need to put out that rack today? Do I really need to call that person today? So as you start to have that doubt, it's like the doubt then gets into your business. And now you've affected your bottom line because you're not doing anything because you're frozen.
So that could also be called the itty bitty shitty committee.
Oh, totally. It is called that, yeah. I just didn't want to use the S word. Yeah, it is.
I went ahead. If the host uses it, we don't use it very often.
Right.
But it makes sense. It makes sense that that's a space that we can all live in. And I know that I've lived there. I've been an entrepreneur for almost 40 years. And understanding that journey and what it takes to build a business and stay committed and face obstacles and understand how to get over them and get through them and get around them. And sometimes you just feel like you don't want to.
Yeah, you feel like you don't want to. Then, the other struggles come up like, well, I don't have the money to invest in me. It's like all those things, my measure was always about how much money was in the bank. Like I remember when Brenda Combs came in and she goes, I want you to be a shero. And I was like, why would you want me to be a shero? Because after a while, you begin to feel like an imposter, like you're not successful. And she goes, but you've been in business for 30 years. And I'm like...
Most don't even make it 1 or 3.
Yeah, and I was like, so what? You know, it's like... So
Isn't it funny to forget the journey we've been on that got us here?
Oh,
it's so easy to do.
It is. And then, you know, and then I was like, yeah, but I don't have a lot of money in my bank account for this, la, la, la. So it's like I look for all the things that make me not worth it.
So how do you switch that, TV? That's the big thing, because I know it's such a metaphor about Face Boutique, because you're having to shift, like turn quick. About Face, I think of military. I think of shifting from right to left, making a change, making an adjustment. And women walk in to work with you 35 years later. That says something about you. That has legs, girl. And you have them, by the way.
Thank you. Well, you know, originally FACE was finding answers, creating esteem, which is kind of funny because I'm in there beating myself up. But, you know, I just, it's when she invited me to come to e-commerce.
eWomenNetwork.
eWomenNetwork. Oh, my God. Sorry.
E-commerce is another thing.
Okay. eWomenNetwork. eWomenNetwork. I talked to you on the phone, and you were so bubbly and excited. And I know Brenda for a long time, and I was like, I joined before I even got there.
Yes, you did.
And I did not know how hungry I was for community. And slowly, like the hugs, you get hugs, and then we dance, and I love that because it's not serious. It's like an icebreaker.
Just to be clear, we dance at the beginning before the meeting starts. It's something I like to do to get the energy going and get us excited, which I should do before we walk in here.
Yeah.
We should be dancing coming into the studio.
Absolutely.
I think I'm going to have to add that. Okay.
Yes. And then what I really like about it is I've been to leads groups before, and it's like, here's my card, blah, 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 blah. But I got to know women pretty quickly because of the how you introduce yourselves at the table. Then you do another event where you introduce yourselves at the end of the meeting. And you start to really get to know people. It's not like, oh, I just want you to buy my business. It's like, you know, it's more relationship. And when you hear other people go through their stuff, you're like, oh, my God, I'm not the only person that's going through that.
It's an intentional conversation.
It is.
It's an intentional.
And the speakers.
Yeah, the speakers are great. I'm very proud of the speakers that we're able to bring into our lunches every month, who often come onto the podcast. And that's fun for me because they're coming in from all over the United States and Canada. And hopefully we've got some penciled in for the fall that are coming in from overseas. So I love that idea. Not just to speak at our chapter, but who want to come and be on the podcast. And they want to be in studio. So I've been told this is a TV show because we are producing it here at beautiful Podwork Studio in Mesa, Arizona. Bill is my director, producer, and cohort over here. And we've really created this beautiful conversation space for women to come in and share their stories, and they're not scripted, as you know. They're not. We sometimes have a little conversation before, something very specific I want to pull out of you in terms of what all of our guests, how they've curated this idea, moved into action quickly, got over the itty bitty, so IBSC committee
or committee
to keep reaching for their stars, having their moonshot, getting bigger, expanding in a place that they never thought that they could go, and all the time being present and appreciating how far they've come. And I think we get into this whole hustle culture, especially in the United States, where it feels you're not doing enough. Every day you wake up, you're not doing enough. And sometimes what you're doing is absolutely enough in the moment you're doing it. And that's okay too.
It is.
And I love that we were having that conversation earlier this week, because what you do for women in helping them with their confidence and making them feel styled and classy and not just throwing on the comfort sweat outfit that's in the closet that we all have way too many of these days. Even that 5-minute face you do, all of these things that you do for women to help them feel appreciated when they look in the mirror for themselves.
Right.
And I love that you start there first. You help them feel good about themselves, then you dress them in a way that brings that out. Because we've had Dawn Stebbing on, and she really works in the mindset space too for speakers on stage. And she said, it doesn't matter the most beautiful, elegant piece I can put on somebody, or the power suit, or the outfit that just highlights all the things but doesn't when somebody's on stage, you don't want the outfit to overpower what they have to say. So they have to work together. And what she realized is it doesn't matter if the internal piece, their voice in their head, doesn't match that confident piece of what's on the outside. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And she says, Veronica, I could have put a paper bag on you, and everybody would think you're wearing the best outfit ever, and they're listening to what you had to say. And I love when she said that to me, because that just didn't come overnight.
No.
And sometimes you want to hide in that paper bag. So share where you're at now in this location, what you've done, how you're able to travel, spend time with your family, and yet you have these clients that you'll shop for, they'll call you, you'll ship them stuff. Like, how are you able to navigate all of it and work through the bad neighborhood between your left ear and your right ear?
Well, now that I know the bad neighborhood has ruled my life for a while, and I owe that a lot to just going to the group and meeting some new women and learning that I'm not alone. But, I think the biggest compliment I got one day was from a client, and she goes, Devy, you're a real scrapper. And she goes, I mean that as a compliment. Ah. And that scrapper has really helped me. Like right now, I don't go to market and buy 4 or 5 of anything. That's never been my thing. I have a very unique boutique. And I have a friend that buys out high-end boutiques all over the country. Well, I can offer all those clothes to my clients at 40% of retail, and I get them from her for 24 hours. So if we're going to have an appointment, we have an appointment. And then also I can buy things from her. So like I have a niche that I have $250 jeans that are 20% of retail. So they're $50. So, I've always wanted to be Scottsdale's friendly, affordable boutique. You do not have to have a lot of money to look great. And you don't have to have a ton of money to have a stylist. Anybody who shops with me that wants me to go shopping for them and come in the store and try things on, I do that. That's part of my service. That's who I am. Now, if I go and do your closet and put your wardrobe together and take pictures, of course I'm going to charge for that.
Right.
But I just,
you should.
As I should.
As you should.
But, I'm building relationships. It's like not a one-time deal. I'm building relationships.
Long-term relationships. And I love that you shared earlier today when we were with the makeup artist, and you said, some of the women I've worked with for 30 to 35 years, I'm now working with their daughters.
Right.
That's legacy. That's what every entrepreneur wants. What has legs? What's not just paying me income right now, but creates generational legacy. So now that I'm not just working with the moms, I'm working with the moms and daughters. And oh my gosh, the day you work with the moms, the daughters, and the granddaughters, like
that's happened.
I can imagine that it has in 35 years.
Yeah.
Share with us a moment where you really thought you were going to go get a job.
I thought about that. And then
what was going through your mind at that time?
I was just like, I'm just so, I don't know. I was just like depressed. And I was like, I just should go get a job. And then I started thinking about what a job would be like.
Just over broke sometimes.
Well,
JOB.
So then I'd have to work for somebody else. I'd have to go work the hours they wanted me to work. I'd have to work on a computer all day. I wouldn't get to do my personal stuff. And I was just like, there's no way I can go get a job. This is my job. There's just no way I can go work for somebody else. I can't.
You're unemployable.
I don't have the time to go work for someone else.
I love that. When you were, so you have a little bit different, we don't have very many guests yet on the podcast who have a shop or a store where they're paying a rent or a lease. You've got inventory you're covering. You have to price it out so you know that you are making a profit. And the formula is most people are using Keystone. So whatever they buy, it's 50% more, and then that's what they're retailing it for. Some are doing Keystone Plus, which is great. But you have to manage inventory. You have to know what you're putting on sale at a better price because you don't want it in there so long. You have jewelry that you're making. You're out there creating this beautiful landscape of all the things that you do. And then you go out and you let people know about what you do. What do you think has been the biggest challenge having a boutique?
The biggest challenge for me is having people understand my concept. So you're not going to come in and see 4 of something because that's not how I buy. I buy pieces.
Very unique styled pieces. You might have 2 or 3 camis in different sizes and things that go together that I saw in the store. But I did notice it's very European-esque. Like you walk in and you see, if you see 2 of something, you better grab it because that's all there is.
Right, that's all there is, yeah. So I think, a lot of people don't understand that. Well, don't you have this in another size? But it's, and if they want something I don't have, I'm like, hey, I'll go find you something similar. So there's always a solution, but a lot of people don't really get the concept. But I've never been that person. Keystone, you're going to go broke every time, even if you do the plus, because you're going to sell 2 things at full price, you're going to sell 1 thing at cost, and you're going to sell 1 thing at a discount, and guess what? You made no money.
Oh, wow. So look at that.
That's not my theory. My theory is just to scrap. I mean, I just go and I scrap and I find things.
Well, I mean, I don't know if anybody can see, but I got these really cute white boots. I got them for Devy. They're so fun. And she saw them and she said, Veronica, you need these boots. And I'm looking at her going, white boots? No. And I said, I wouldn't even know how to wear them. And before I know it, on my phone was popping all these styles in my body shape, wearing these boots, super cute. I'm like, okay, so in honor of Devy, I've got my cute little white boots on today with my dress. But I love that you saw me in something. And you're okay if I go, yeah, that doesn't really feel like me, because we've done that too.
Yeah.
You're like, try this and this. And you ship globally. So
yes,
tell people about how you work with those who don't live in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Well, like I have a woman that lives in New York. I'll just talk about her. Like she's been my client for 28 years. And I just, every time I get new stuff, I'm like, I send her pictures and I'm like, oh, you need this, you need this, you might want to look at this.
Well, and you know her now all these years.
Right.
But what about the person you don't know who reaches out to you and says, Devy, I need some help. How would you work with them?
Okay, so the first thing I do is I ask them really personal questions.
Okay.
So we text and I ask their height, their bra size, I ask where they carry weight. So I want to get their body shape. There's 4 body shapes.
Do you ask for pictures? So you can
I do ask for a couple pictures.
Okay.
Yeah, because I need to know, are you short-waisted? Are you busty? Do you have no meat on your thighs? Or do you carry all your weight in your bottom? I mean, I've had clients that I don't know that have come, somebody that works with me have told them, she can get you a dress for that wedding, and she's coming out in March for 3 days. And they will come in, we'll go through the whole process of the questions, and they will come in, and I will have 3 dresses that fit them, and they'll buy one. I never met that person.
Wow.
That's how good I am.
Wow. I love that. So what if they can't come to the store?
Well, I could send them. Yeah,
Okay.
I could send them, and then they can try them on and send them back. Absolutely. But, like my New York client, like she's never sent anything back in 25 years.
Because it's you know exactly what you're getting from her.
And I do show her pictures.
Of course. Right.
But, globally, I just met a woman when I was in Grand Cayman. And, they just don't have a lot of options for clothes. And so we've been going back and forth. She's a plus size.
Okay.
And I'm sending her pictures of shirts and different things. And we've settled on 2. And we're figuring out the shipping, which is the best way to ship. But, that just came out of conversation. And, you look at me, I'm itty bitty. I'm talking to this woman and I tell her what I do. And she's like, well, do you have things for me? And I'm like, absolutely I have things for you. I have things for everybody.
You do have things for everybody. And you're very resourced, so you know where to go to find things. You have people that are out on market shopping. You know who's out there buying these high-end boutiques and getting what you just said, moving off inventory that they can't sell, that they need something for, so they can make space for the next thing that comes along, and you're not having to do that.
And it's great stuff because you know what, a lot of high-end stuff. Well, this is my theory about style.
Okay.
Style.
Tell us all.
Okay. So trendy people are insecure because they have to wear the trends because they don't know how to create style. Style is about just picking pieces. Like if you pick an unusual piece, you can wear it for life. You know, style is about taking different things and mixing them, but being you. So that's what real style is.
So it seems to me you would be able to work with entrepreneurs who are trying to find their brand identity.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love this idea for you.
And let's kick them out of the box. Let's not do like, oh, I'm in marketing, so I have to look a certain way. Well, no, if you wear something that's a little bit off center, people are going to notice you a lot more than they are if you're
or the business coach or the speaker who's on stage. I love that we're talking about this because so often when you're building the business and you're the face of the business, in these days especially, people are in their home office. Like you said, back to segueing into our conversation around feeling like you're on an island, feeling very solo in your approach to your business. And because that's where, and you can get in there 8, 9, and 10 hours and you're not out shopping and just to get out to network somewhere. Right. Go to a coffee shop. If you don't have a community, start a community. Like find other people that in your area that just want to get together and talk about what's going on in their business and how you can support each other as you're transitioning through all of these phases and spaces. I want to talk about, too, yes, branding and style and clothing, that's important. Even finding one signature piece, like you said, that you can be known for.
Right.
I travel the country speaking, and I find that I meet, and when I meet other speakers especially, or women in a certain industry, they have a look about them. Or there's one signature piece you will see them in all the time. And I was from the mindset of, oh, I can't wear that again because somebody will notice I've worn it before. And what I realized is when you have signature items that really speak to who you are, and it's part of your branding and your element, it's okay to wear the same piece, throw it on with different pieces, or even that one great dress or that one great suit that you put a different top on, or you roll the sleeve up, or you put it down, or you mix the jacket with a different skirt, or those are all okay style ideas.
Yes, and one thing that people really miss out on is the closet session, because you buy clothes that you like. Now, most people buy an outfit. I bought this with this, and that's how they wear it for the life of the garment, right? So when I come into your closet, I could give you 10 outfits that you don't even know you have. And I will take pictures, style them for you, and you can create a whole new wardrobe out of what you have, because I'm going to mix it around.
Shopping your closet.
You're going to shop your closet, but you're going to get styled in your closet. I have a client that's a doctor, right? She goes, oh, I don't know how to do. I said, well, I don't know how to be a doctor, right? So I go to her house, and I'll just put all her stuff together, and sometimes I bring in a few new things, but I work mostly with her stuff. And then I send them all the pictures, and she's got it on the computer. So if she's going on a trip, she's going, I'm going to take that, and that. Done. Out the door. Feeling great.
So they could fly you into their home wherever you are.
Right.
Wherever they are. And then you could also probably do like FaceTime videos.
I have done FaceTime before, yes.
Nice.
And it's really good because people do not realize what they're missing out on. And most of the time we are attracted to certain colors, and we don't even realize that most of our wardrobe actually can interconnect because it's the colors. It's the color wheel. So, yeah, I mean, it's great, and it's money well spent.
Okay, I love this idea. You shared something earlier. When you were ready to open your About face, did you ever have to go get a loan on your own, or how? I want to talk about what it's been like to be, a woman entrepreneur who has a big space, who's looking to invest in herself because but you had to get through that mindset, right? You had to tell yourself, I am worth this.
Yeah, okay, so when I opened my first store, I had $500 in a credit card with a $1,000 balance. That's how I started my store, and that's why I had things on consignment. Story. And then, I've never gotten a loan, ever. That's why I probably don't have that big chunk of change, but I don't have debt. So, I do not think like other people.
I love this.
I just don't. But now I believe in my heart that if I had some guidance and some strategy, that it would carry me a lot further now. So I can see now that where I'm at, because of COVID, how people have learned to shop a different way, trying to reach the client, because there's so much stuff in our face all the time with social media about how we should look. Well, we should look our best and feel beautiful.
We talked about that earlier because you said people will come to you with an Instagram filtered picture and say, this is what I want, and you're looking at the picture and you're looking at them and they're not the same people.
Well, their face shape isn't the same, their body's not the same. It's like they can have a look that would maybe be those colors, maybe enhance their features with those colors or clothing, but they're not going to have that shape because you can't put somebody who carries more weight in their thighs, and they need to wear their clothes tighter.
And that's where, I mean, you see things that get trendy, and not everybody should be wearing the trendy style.
Oh,
I mean, good Lord, I've tried, and my husband will go, yeah, no, we're not doing that anymore. And people have heard me say on this podcast before, my kids used to take a couple years back before the podcast, maybe 15 years ago, maybe 5, I don't know. But they would take pictures of me in something I would post, and they'd screenshot it and they'd send it to their dad and they'd say, burn this, don't let mom wear it anymore. And it's just because I didn't know.
Right.
And part of it was maybe that confidence piece. I acted one way, but I was feeling another way inside. And I think we all go through that as women. What would you say to the woman who's listening to you today, Devy, and they just need some encouragement?
Well, I would say that, when I look at trends now today, I remember, in the 70s I wore that and it was really cute. So I don't really need to reproduce that. That's for the young people, right? And but I would say for any woman that's not really engaged in herself, it doesn't cost a lot to look great. You just need, again, like I just said, I need some direction. And
you can't see the label when you're inside the jar.
If you have 3 great outfits, then you've got 3 great outfits. And if you're in them and you're comfortable with yourself, you're not going to be uptight. You're going to, everything's going to come out and you're going to just be yourself. And that's what we really want. We want you to be yourself, to be polished if it's necessary in your work. If you work at home and you want to just be comfortable and be able to go do things, that's a different wardrobe. But it's all the same. We just want to feel our best, just to feel our best and feel good about ourselves.
So before we wrap up today, and thank you for sharing that, we talked about the bad neighborhood between the left ear and the right ear. What is something you've had to do to kick some of those neighbors out of that neighborhood?
Well, the first thing I had to do, and it's been a recent thing this time with the neighborhood, is I had to realize that, I'm not a loser. I'm not a failure. That I have to start saying, I'm a success. I'm a success. I help people. I'm a very good person. I'm kind. I'll do anything for you. I'm authentic. So I have to start acknowledging who I am instead of listening to what I'm not.
Was there a moment, Devy, in your life that made you realize you had that neighborhood in your head?
Oh, I think that neighborhood's always been there. It's just like
that it was time to kick out the neighbors and clean up the neighborhood and bring in the new people. I mean, everybody's sitting here listening to you thinking, but how did she do it? Like, what made her realize that was what was going on? Was it, how did you know?
I just, my joy. It's about my joy.
And you were losing it. You didn't have it.
Yeah. And then when I do less and less and get frozen, I'm like, oh, I think I'm ADHD. No, I'm not ADHD. I just need to start to see the good in me. That's what I do for other people. You know how they talk about the cobbler's kids never have shoes?
Yes.
I'm fighting answers, creating esteem, and I'm over here with a bat. It's hysterical. So I had to put the bat down.
Okay, put the bat down. That might be the the tagline for the show, Devy, with that. Put the bat down. That's funny. I would love people to know how to get a hold of you. Can they find you on social?
Yes, Devy Walker on Instagram.
DEVY. Okay.
Walker on Instagram.
They can also comment on the show. We
Yes.
can reach out to them that way.
Yes, and feel free to call or text me, 602-292-0687. Love to hear from you. Love to help you. Love to just have a conversation.
And we'll put that in the show notes for all of you that are listening and watching today so that you can get a hold of Devy and find out how she can help you and maybe shop your closet, come out to your home, help you find that right outfit, that photo shoot that's coming up. If you're looking to change up your brand, which you should always be looking for some new photos every couple of years because women go through evolutions of who they are. We gain in years and perspective and wisdom, and I think your brand should reflect that as an entrepreneur as well, because that's okay. That's very authentic and trustworthy. I love that. And you're not going to AI and asking it to take your picture and throw you in an outfit. I mean, come on, let's be real. The fun thing for me as we wrap up here is when I go to different events and women will see me wearing something they see on my website, or they'll see a headshot and I'll be in that outfit. Like they know I'm real. Like this is me.
Right.
And I believe in this day and age that's really important.
Super important.
Really important, Devy. Well, I thought this was an incredible conversation. I enjoyed it so much. I love what you do for women, and I love, more importantly, what you've done for yourself, Devy.
Thank you. And, Veronica, I just want to say that your organization and the women that you have in your organization have really helped me see the light. So thank you.
You're welcome. And if you want to learn more about our Phoenix chapter of eWomenNetwork, make sure that you reach out and go to our eWomenNetwork.com website and look up Phoenix chapter, and you can learn all about us too there. But more importantly, connect with Devy. I know that I'm in the middle of a rebrand with her website, so the best way to reach her is through her social channels or send her a text. I know that she'd love to help and support you. We will see you next week on Be Visible with Veronica. Bye for now. Thanks for tuning in to Be Visible with Veronica. If today's episode sparked something in you, share it, tag me, and pass it on. Your presence has power, and the world is better when you let it be seen. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and keep showing up as the unstoppable force you were born to be. I'll see you next time.